Since 2015, I've generated hundreds of millions of dollars from Google search, employing and training over 150 SEO specialists. This is the second time in 15 years that I've seen a shift this big in SEO. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down 6 super clear steps that I would follow if I was learning SEO from scratch today in this AI search era. I decided to make these videos for people starting out or a younger version of me so that you can learn SEO without wasting years of SEO learning it the wrong way. So subscribe if that's the kind of content you're looking for. The first most fundamental thing is to understand how SEO and AI work together, what we call this new consideration era. Let me tell you a quick story. So I was having dinner with my chief of staff and buddy, Lawrence, and he was in the market for a new home espresso machine. Not like a big purchase, and I was just curious. I asked him how he was researching it, and he told me he hadn't actually Googled much at all. So I wanted to kind of, call him out or just see actually what was happening. So I asked if he minded showing me his search history. So he showed me his phone, and it started in ChatGPT. You know, we had these questions about pressure and grinders and maintenance, and then all these Reddit threads comparing these models, and then there were these YouTube reviews. Only at the very end of his whole, consideration journey did he search a couple of brand names directly. There was no single keyword journey like we're traditionally used to. The decision had already been shaped before Google even mattered, and that to me was the moment it clicked. Search hasn't disappeared, it's just moved earlier and wider across different platforms. If your brand doesn't show up during that consideration phase, you never even make the shortlist, and that's modern SEO. So to help explain that shift, I built a simple map that you can download in its description, and it shows how search now spreads across the entire consideration phase of that buying journey instead of living in one place. Now, if I was starting SEO today, this is the map I would use as my guide. It shows where decisions are actually happening, and once you see it, AI SEO stops becoming confusing. The second thing that I would nail if I was starting out is to learn how search actually works before you try and win it. So when I started in SEO, I didn't understand search engines. I copied what ranked. If a competitor was doing something, I mirrored it. If they repeated something, I just repeated it more. And you know what though? It worked really freaking well. But then every year, Google would just roll out these big updates designed to wipe out this kind of spammy behavior. And I noticed the people who adjusted and adapted were the ones that kept winning, but the people that copied, like myself, were just blindly disappearing. When I started my agency, we taught SEO the same way that I learned it. Patterns first and then playbooks early. A few years in, as we built out more of a proper learning and development program, I asked myself a simple question during the onboarding: do we actually teach how search engines work? And the answer, frankly, was no. That was a problem, and we changed it. Before anyone touched tactics, it was very much Mr. Miyagi time. Wax on, wax off. Juniors had to understand those fundamentals first. How search engines crawl, how they index, how they trust things, why they ignore things. Only then do we give people the playbook. And once we did that, everything improved dramatically. Client results were lifting. People stopped chasing these Google updates that these influencers talk about, and they started anticipating them and making decisions that actually held up. So what I want you to do is, before you touch tools, I want you to really focus on learning how search actually works. SEO is applied understanding, not a checklist in 2026. You can't just do a site audit in SEMrush and fix those things anymore. That is not SEO. The third thing that if you nail, you are going to be so far ahead is to completely rethink keywords and start owning topics. I ran an exercise last week or the week after with the team, and we had the same task, the same intent. It was to buy a plain white t-shirt. The first rule though was no Google, no traditional Google. Everyone had to start in AI tools, some in ChatGPT, some in Gemini, and what came back was all over the place. You've got one person asking for a heavyweight tee that holds shape. Then you had people looking for the fabric, for options for hot weather that we've got in Australia at the moment. Then there were the people focused on price. One person was obsessed with how many times it would survive a wash. You've got the same product, different results. You've got these completely different prompts and decision paths. Then when we lifted that Google restriction, most people just typed some variation of, what would you search? White t-shirt or best white t-shirt in Australia. And that contrast was that shift. AI search isn't funneling demand into one clean keyword, it's expanding that intent across the context, the constraints, and any personal trade-off. Like that person that's wondering, how many times can I wash a t-shirt? Something I never would have thought of. So that keyword first SEO breaks entirely in AI search. If you optimize just for one phrase, you miss the real decision. But if you actually own the topic, then you appear across a bunch of different prompts without actually needing to chase them. You can cover the fit, the fabric, durability, care, how many times you can wash the thing, and that's how you own that topic. And that's how you're gonna scale visibility now in 2026. This one's also super important and isn't spoken about that much, but it's around nailing your authority on-site and off-site. In the early days when I started, my business grew through referrals. And I think a lot of people start this way, to be honest. You've got one call, you send the invoice, done. You're like thinking this is awesome. And then you start moving up market and the questions start changing, right? You've got people asking for insurance details, ABN, case studies, all this different stuff that you just had no idea about when you started. And when you were chasing those small clients, they weren't that important. But for me, there was actually a moment in that it clicked recently. Because claims on your website, they really mean nothing unless the rest of the internet agrees. And we spoke about earlier about stopping chasing keywords, but what I started chasing was proof. So on the website, we rebuilt everything around social proof. And this is for a B2B company. We published over, 50 different detailed case studies. We stacked 250 different reviews and testimonials and clear evidence everywhere it mattered. Not because it looked good, but because authority needs those receipts, or people just don't trust these days. And offsite, I applied the exact same thinking to my own brand, which is a separate B2C brand called Caddy Luggage. Instead of writing just more product pages, we looked for, a story that people cared about in the travel space. So not luggage, which is what we sell, but travel. I was trying to come up with a story angle to do the RAIDS protocol, which is this whole digital PR thing that you can watch in a second. And I was traveling with my bag and with an airline in Australia called Jetstar. There's a few of them around like Spirit and stuff, and they just slog you with these hidden fees. My bag was 0.1 kilo over the weight, which for our American friends is, 0.2 lbs. I don't know, that's not right. Anyway, what's important is they slugged me $50 just for that. And so I came up with this idea, well, what about if we did a piece around airline add-ons and hidden fees? The thing that everyone complains about. So we pitched this tight list of travel and consumer journalists that were already covering that topic. Those placements turned into backlinks, brand mentions, citations, and actual customers. But then something really interesting started happening. Those articles didn't just drive referral traffic, they started surfacing in all the AI answers. When people were asking about hidden fees or baggage limits or the real cost of flying, Caddy was showing up. Not because of some keyword, but because the internet had validated us inside that topic. That led to 4 or 5x our growth across organic search and our AI-driven referral channels. Just from the digital authority there compounding. What I'm trying to say is that on-site proof builds trust fast, but then you need the off-site proof to supercharge that through things like digital PR. If you want to be winning in AI search, you've got to stop assuming that people know you and start thinking like a customer deciding whether to trust you or not. The fifth one I did when I was young and starting out, and it saved me years of learning, or fast-tracked me a ton. And it's super simple, but do real SEO work on a real website. You just can't learn SEO in theory, right? Every meaningful lesson I've learned has come from working on a live website. I've launched dozens of test websites over the years to test ideas properly. Real builds, real money. You start with 0 keywords and you've probably just spent a few $100 on the site, and you get to break things. You get to fix them, and you really get to realize what works and what never did, and what people are saying in videos that works really well on a brand that's doing billions of dollars, but doesn't work at all on a brand with nothing. I still do this today. Recently, I launched this fake landscaping business as a test. It's got no brand, no authority, no history, and we ranked it inside ChatGPT for best landscaping in Melbourne within 2 weeks. That just came from an understanding of how systems respond when you push and pull the right levers. Websites really teach those instincts. You really start to feel how algorithms react. You stop guessing. You start recognizing these patterns. It's really intangible, But every standout candidate that I've ever hired has built something themselves, because experience builds confidence. Take a weekend, start a website, get it ranking. You're gonna learn so much more from doing than you will doing some university degree or some SEO course. You've just gotta make sure you're working on learning the right things. And hopefully this video is gonna help you with that. The last one here is the skill that separates good from great SEO specialists, and that is communication. From day one in the agency, I drilled one rule into my team, and if you've ever worked with me, you'll know. It is keep it simple for the client. They do not want to hear about technical SEO strategies, complex things, server log analysis. They're normal people. They don't care about SEO as much as you do. They get value from us SEO specialists because we can communicate clearly. That mindset is super important to grasp early. When I had the chance to pitch our first big client, Officeworks, which is, I think, Staples in America, it's Australia's biggest office supply store chain. And we did this technical analysis. We found this big issue that was going to nuke their whole website around server-side or client-side rendering at the time. And when we went in, I was myself, Anthony, and Lozman, Lawrence, and we flagged this massive technical issue that I mentioned about what they were planning to do. And I remember I said to him just moments before, remember to deliver it simply and we'll win it. We didn't lecture them. We didn't judge their team. We didn't drown them in jargon. We just explained the outcomes. What would happen if they launched it that way with a client-side website? What's gonna break? And what would improve if we actually fixed it? We spoke about it in plain language. We didn't explain the intricacies of JavaScript foundations and modeling and server-side, and we just explained what was gonna happen and how we could remedy that. And instead we worked with their developers instead of talking down to them. We brought everyone along for that decision and we won the pitch. That client kicked off that journey for us of becoming a global agency. And later, many years, I learned why we were picked. And it was because other agencies came in with these jargon-heavy decks and these complicated explanations. They frankly just confused everyone in the room. We were relatable, we spoke at their level, and we made the problem and the solution easy to understand. That day, our vision was born. It became delivering the best SEO simply. If you can't explain why something matters, it won't get implemented. I love the saying, really great practitioners can explain something as if they were talking to a 5-year-old. A great SEO's top skill is that clear communication. It doesn't matter whether you're in-house, an agency, or even if you're just learning this for your own business. It's why we value communication as highly as technical ability when we're hiring. Those are the 6 things that if you learn early in your career, or even if you just learn and understand in 2026, you're going to crush. What we found is that AI hasn't killed SEO at all. It's exposed who actually understands how people decide and purchase. If you build digital authority, you show proof, you communicate clearly, and you adapt fast, SEO is seriously one of the strongest career pathways in 2026. Our industry is booming. We are growing so fast. If you want to learn SEO the right way for this era, you can start with our free SEO course. I've got nothing to charge you for. It is all totally free and it covers the fundamentals. It shows you how to apply them as well in a world that's shaped by AI. That's where I would start if I was learning from scratch, and then I would adapt that to my real website like I said. Everything I'm publishing here is built to save you years of trial and error. So if any of this helps, please subscribe. It means a lot. And ask any questions you have in the comments. I'd be really happy to engage with you guys.